Good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, February 27th. How are you boys doing?
Doing well, doing well. We get 2 more days of February. How nice.
Yeah, how about that?
3, I should say, if you count today.
I keep forgetting we got an extra day this year.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's why 2024 is going to be so great.
I want to make sure I have at least one mortgage application dated February 29th. So real estate agents, please give me a call. We got a couple more days to make that happen.
Yeah, that's a good goal to have. I'm going to bring that up in my meeting today.
You sound different today, Tom. Are we in a different location? Looks a little.
We are. I'm trying to make it not look as gloomy, but we had to move to the basement. Nursery's being set up upstairs, so I'm
Maybe Birko kicking you out, huh?
Yeah, I'm expecting the crib to be delivered tomorrow. So this weekend was a moving day. I had to get down into my new spot here, new home, we'll call it, for the next 20 years.
Oh, I like it. All those degrees in the background, fancy pantsy.
Yeah, I had to switch it. Those were Natalie's. I had to move mine over there.
The pack and play is going to be your best friend, Tom.
It's right around the corner. So
it's going to be your best friend.
And you ready for March? How's everything going with you?
Good, man. Good. Yeah, it's gonna be another 60-degree weather today. It's pretty wild, man. So I'll take it.
Hey, it seems like the weather is changing. Pittsburgh is definitely not getting the winters they used to. I see Tom golfing more in December, January, and February than I ever did before. So, hey.
I didn't think if you would want to talk about global warming, but we could talk about it a little bit here.
It's called weather, Tom. It's just called weather. But getting into it today, our favorite topic, the most favorite topic around the industry is the NAR lawsuit and all the copycat lawsuits that have happened across the country. And not shockingly, we all knew this was coming, but the DOJ, our favorite government, the Department of Justice, has entered the conversation. And just a few days ago, they actually made comments rejecting one of the New England settlements, saying that, no, this doesn't really change anything and that we don't like this. So the DOJ is now entering the conversation. My personal opinion, they'll absolutely make this worse. They have no idea what a real estate transaction is. They're lawmakers. They've never been part of a real estate transaction. And anytime lawmakers try to come in and regulate an industry, rarely does it end up being a positive topic.
No, I would have to agree. I mean, them being involved in this, not having any type of background, doing a transaction, seeing what a real estate agent does on a day-to-day basis is ultimately not going to be a good thing. So I think it is still important for these agents to keep getting out there what they do, and we get that into the hands of the government too.
Well, the biggest part that I don't understand, obviously there's 50 states, there's 50 different rules, regulating real estate agents. It depends what state you're in. 14 of the states, including Pennsylvania, have always had a buyer's agency agreement, right? The buyer always signed something saying what the commission was. Other 36 states, if I did that math right, didn't have anything. The buyer didn't sign anything. It doesn't seem like they were just walking in the dark. So I see that issue. But for the 14 states have already had things, Pennsylvania seems, every time I hear more about this, I'm like, oh, well, PA already has that. PA already has that. PA already has that. So, I mean, from just looking from the outside, it seems like Pennsylvania has had a lot of the right disclosures. And it seems like now these states that haven't had those buyer's agency disclosures are adding them in. But some of these options that the DOJ is throwing out there is really showing they don't have any idea how the industry works. And of course, on the base, anything commission related, should be able to be negotiated. And on the face value, that's good. Let everyone negotiate commission. But if we all know it on the lending side, it's not a perfect world. a lot of people in our country, especially in this economy, don't have extra thousands of dollars potentially laying around to pay a commission.
No, and I'm seeing it more and more this year than any other year in the industry. People are hurting for money right now, and they don't have it in the bank.
Yes, and so the DOJ is mentioning maybe buyers should get to pay an hourly rate. I mean, that is just crazy to think about. That would hurt buyers, especially in a market where you can't get an offer accepted. Now you're working with an agent for months and months and months. I mean, that in some cases that would be ridiculous. And it just right off the bat, from the first go, it seems like the DOJ is going to try to come in and they really have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I think it's just we're going to have to kind of wait and see what does happen here with them. I'm not sure if they were getting pressure to make a comment on it, and that's kind of what they did, which hopefully is kind of, different politicians chirping in their ear. Maybe they just made that comment. We'll see where it goes in the next coming weeks if they want to pursue anything or step in completely.
And it's getting more and more confusing because at first there was one lawsuit and now there's all these other copycat lawsuits that are happening all over the country. So one settles or one brokerage settles, but it doesn't mean it's all over. It's just one individual lawsuit, which is just confusing the public even more because you're not going to know what's going on in your area regarding settlements or current suits or
and they're supposed to be sending out settlements here, different companies, to people that have sold their house over the last 5 years. They're going to start seeing stuff in the mail, so that's just going to add to the mix of confusion.
It's getting very confusing very fast. The one thing it does seem like it's going to open up the avenue of conversation, though, is buyers and buyers agents talking about commission one way or another. I do think more conversation and more transparency is good. I think for the real estate agent that has been out there, who's seasoned, who has a book of business, who knows exactly what they do, how they do it, why they do it, they're going to have a much better conversation than a real estate agent that hasn't figured out that whole, what is my value worth and how do I explain that to a buyer, because you're doing so much behind the scenes and you're not doing all your work in front of buyers.
Yeah. I mean, you just have to really tell them what's going on and they have to trust you ultimately. Just like any other business transaction, your client needs to trust you.
And I think all of us on the screen, it's going to be more important to get a cost sheet earlier than ever. If a buyer is paying any sort of the buyer commission, whether it's $1 or whether it's all of it, that has to be put on, a loan estimate. And so the loan officer, the real estate agent, and the buyer all need to be on the same page to know exactly what those costs are. Because if there is a real estate commission being paid, we definitely don't want any surprises right at closing because there was a lack of communication of who's paying what, where, and why.
Yeah. And pushing it off to the next day isn't going to fix anything. So we got to attack this head on.
Listen, from experience, guys, every day you get closer to closing, it gets worse. Any sort of bad news, any sort of hiccup, if you in your mind think there's an issue or the buyer isn't sure of the cost, just hoping that it goes away is never a valid way to fix the problem.
No, you're going to give everybody headaches at that point.
Absolutely. We're happy to sit here and talk with you guys, game plan, figure out how to take this on as it changes. Like I said, numbers don't lie. Cost sheets are going to be very important. I still feel Pennsylvania keeps having every form they keep talking about. I read in the news like, oh, Pennsylvania did that. So I don't understand what's going on in PA because for my side of things, buyers and sellers have always seemed to understand how the commission works, but only time will tell, I guess.
Yeah. And I think keeping the DOJ out of it is the best thing possible.
Yep, but that's not going to happen. I mean, this is the biggest class action lawsuit, I believe, in the history of the United States, or something like that. So they're gonna get involved, and
Yep.
that's the scary part, unfortunately.
Yeah, no doubt.
You boys have anything to wrap up before we close out today?
Yeah, actually, I do. There's this new thing I heard on the news this morning: price surge from Wendy's. So I don't know who agrees with it, disagrees with it, but I want to throw it out there for the comments. We'll see. Wendy's is going to price surge now during busy lunch hours as well as dinner hours. They said that they're going to reduce the price during non-busy hours, but are they going to reduce the price or just keep it at normal rate? So only time will tell on that as well. So Wendy's, DOJ, time will tell.
That's wild. Sounds like the Pittsburgh Steelers paying that premium for that primetime game, huh?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, but hey, yeah.
All right, boys. See you Friday.
See you guys.